Hello! Welcome to the first installment of the Ghetto Gospel. Today is the fifth Sunday in Ordinary Time. It is February 10th, 2019. And today's Gospel reading was from Luke. It was Luke chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. So this is Jesus pretty much getting his disciples together. So at this point, he's a pretty well-known guy. He's been performing a couple miracles here and there. He's been heard of. So when this gospel is taking place, Jesus is talking to some people at the edge of a lake, and they're all crowding around him, and he kind of feels stuck. Yeah, I would feel stuck if a bunch of people crowding around me too. So he sees Simon, and he sees some boats that were left there by some fishermen who had been fishing all night. So keep that in mind. They've been fishing all night. So they were standing there washing their nets, like, oh my gosh, when can we go home? So Jesus goes up to them, saying, hey, do you mind if I take this a little bit out? These people, they're all over me. I want to give myself a little bit of space, and I'm going to go into the water's edge. So he goes and he sits down in the boat. So he's talking to these people, and so he says to Simon, you know what? Go put this boat in deeper water, put the boat a little bit farther down that way, and put your net in the water again. And Simon probably rolls his eyes because he's like, dude, we've been doing this all night, haven't caught a thing. I just want to go home, go to bed, wash myself, get this over with. I want to go to bed. But he's Jesus, right? So Jesus knows what he's doing. He's like, I guess I'll go put my net in the water. So he goes over and says, all right, I'm gonna do it, I guess. So he goes and he goes back in the boat, gets his buddy. They go out into a little bit deeper water, and they put the nets back in there, probably like, okay, yeah. Jesus, he's not a fisherman. He doesn't know he has no idea. He's a carpenter, right? His dad's a carpenter. He doesn't know anything about fishing. Well, what does this guy know? But I guess he's Jesus, so I'm not going to say no. I'm going to go put my net in the water. So he does that, and it turns out Jesus knew what he was doing. They put the nets in the water. They pull out so much fish. They're starting to sink their boat. So they have a couple other buddies over. They say, hey guys, come here. We have a bunch of fish. Help us out here. So they're bringing the fish back into the boat, and they're putting the boats back on shore. And Simon just comes back to Jesus and goes, you were right. Get away from me. I'm a sinner. You shouldn't even be talking to me right now. I'm a sinner, Jesus, and you let me catch all these darn fish right now. And Jesus tells him, don't worry about it. Okay? I know where the fish are. Shouldn't have doubted me. Always trust me. I know what's up, okay? And you're not going to be a fisherman anymore. You're going to be a fisher of men. I bet Jesus thought that was a really clever thing to say. So, you're not going to fish for fish. You're going to fish for men. And that seems like a really weird thing for Jesus to tell somebody. But he just means you're not going to go out and gather fish. You're going to go out and gather more followers. And you're going to spread my word around. And you're going to spread more good news. And he does this again with James and John, who are out there fishing with their dad, and Jesus is on the shore, and he says, yo, guys, James, John, let's go. And they just drop everything. They leave their dad alone in the boat. They get to shore, and they're like, all right, Jesus, what's up? So they are able to leave everything behind. And that's what Jesus is asking us to do. He's asking us to trust him and stop what you're doing right now. And if you're not able to stop what you're doing right now, then you're too in love with your worldly things, and you can't actually go and follow Jesus. You have to be ready to follow Jesus at any point in time. But these guys, but Simon here, it's a little bit different because he was kind of skeptical about it. I can imagine him rolling his eyes. It's like if you're playing a video game and your mom knows nothing about it, and she tells you, oh, no, you have to kick this guy here. You have to make sure you're hiding behind this beam. Why don't you check here? Like, Mom, you have no idea what's going on. Same kind of concept here with Jesus and Simon. But when Jesus asked James and John to come up and follow him, they no hesitation whatsoever. So this gospel passage today was about just trusting Jesus. He might not seem what he's doing like he knows what he's doing right now. Maybe your situation is just really bad, and you're just kind of wondering why. You have to trust him. Jesus is going to put you in an uncharted area. He's going to force you into situations that you're not familiar with. So Simon and his buddies, they were fishing more in shallow waters because that's what they were familiar with. And Jesus says, nah, go a little bit into deeper water. Go where it's not familiar to you. There's going to be a lot of fish there. Trust me. So they were kind of like, Jesus, we've been out fishing all night. You know nothing about fishing. We normally don't even fish in that spot because that's deep and that's unknown and that's scary to us. So no, we're not really going to want to go over there. But they humored him anyway, and in doing so, they caught so many fish. So Jesus knows what he's doing. So just trust in Jesus. He knows what he's doing. He's going to put you in a situation that you're not familiar with, something that might seem a little bit awkward to you. But you have to just completely trust him. Go into that unknown territory and know that Jesus is there for you. You're not going to, something like that, you're not going to know unless you try, right? They had not gone to that deeper water. Jesus hadn't pushed them to go and try that one last time and not give up. And they trusted him. They said, okay, maybe there's something out here that's going to eat us. We don't go into this deep water. There's some creepy fish in the ocean, okay? Even though they're in a lake. There's some creepy things in the deep waters, and we know that now, too. So they just did not know what was out there, and they went and they trusted him wholeheartedly. And now that they passed that test. They went and they trusted Jesus. Now he's going to go follow Jesus. And he's like, yeah, he was right. This guy right here, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to go tell everybody about this. And that's what Jesus wanted. He wants people to spread the good news. And that's why he now takes Simon Peter and says, hey, you're not going to be a fisherman anymore. You're going to be a fisher of men. You're going to have more, you're going to help spread my good news, and you're going to help me help other people. And that's pretty much what this gospel is about today. Going into something that you don't know, going into those deeper waters, but knowing that Jesus is there right beside you. Jesus was on the shoreline. He was watching them do this. He's not just going to push you out there and let you drown. He's going to watch you and help you if you needed help. But also they had other people fishing with them. So they kind of saw this miracle that was happening, and Simon Peter was like, hey guys, help them out. Their net's just going to snap in half. Help them get the fish out into their boats. So you can call on other people for help too in your time of need. When Jesus puts you out there in the deeper water, maybe he puts you there on your own, but there's always going to be someone for you to reach out to and help. Just like there was someone for Simon Peter and his other fishermen to grab and help them too. They called to their neighbors in the other boats. They called to their buddies for help. So Jesus is not just going to abandon you, okay? He wants you to be your best person, and he's going to push you to do things that are out of your comfort zone. But as long as you trust Jesus and know that he knows what he's doing, just humor him a little bit, and everything's going to be okay.